Just to introduce ourselves, we are University of Alabama at Birmingham. We're one of the largest centers in the state. We're a very large hospital in general. Here's just sort of some general numbers for our institution here. Um, yeah, we really pride ourselves as being one of the top academic centers, certainly in the southeast and really throughout the nation. We This institution really also takes pride in the fact that it's a top employer in the state and has kind of held that reputation for a long time. Here's just a snapshot of kind of to compare sizes of different hospital systems in the country. So this is actually an old chart, and more than likely has increased as we've actually opened our brand new rehab hospital, which has added a couple hundred beds. So I don't know exactly where we fall at this point, but we're most likely going to be quite a bit higher than eight. So our campus is located in downtown Birmingham. We're right next to basically the actual undergraduate university. And in this kind of view, you're just kind of seeing the landscape of what we would call like the medical and academic district of our city. We are a very well-established program, been here for a long time, since 1966. We have four residents per year, and the way that this slide was originally made was when we were um, an advanced program, and so interns did their intern year outside of our hospital. That's actually changed recently here too, and so we really have a total cohort of 16 residents. That's four per class over 4 years. So, and that's kind of what this is mentioning there. We train at a few different sites. None of them are very far away. They're all really in the small city that is Birmingham. Um, we have a second hospital around 4 blocks away from the main hospital called UAB Highlands. We Children's of Alabama is adjacent to our main hospital system. Our VA site is about 4 blocks in another direction. And then we also do some work at another hospital called St. Vincent's, but we only have one rotation a year. And again, that one's probably 8 to 10 blocks from the main hospital site. So everything's very close. This is an old slide, so we actually don't have our new kind of set of slides even made yet for the new rehab hospital. I'll get into that in just a minute, but this is our old rehab hospital, Spain Rehabilitation Center. Again, a very old um, center for rehabilitation. This was a 49-bed unit. It had all dedicated units to TBI, spinal cord injury, stroke, and a general neuroscience service. But on with the new. So this is a rendering actually, because we don't have a updated professional photo to put in here for you guys because this is so new. But our new rehab pavilion opened literally last week. And so we will, if you guys interview with us, you'll have all kinds of great new high quality pictures of what the new hospital looks like. But this opened again last week. The goal bed number is 104. Um, we've started off with around 75 beds, so we've increased our beds by about 25 beds with the new hospital so far, but there's future plans to increase that number to 104 eventually. Again, we're at 75 so far. We we do a good bit of research. We have a large research center at our hospital. We host the spinal cord model systems researching group at our hospital. We also have a traumatic brain injury TBI model system. And then our site is actually the statistical center for the spinal cord model systems. So we have several PhDs who are working on really just the research and data side of things. Our program's been growing pretty rapidly over the past 4 to 5 years. This was an article published in the last couple months, just from the AMA highlighting the most viewed PM&R programs, and we were surprised to find ourselves at the top, but here we are. Brief look at the curriculum, but the things that I want to highlight is that, again, our intern year is within under the UAB program now. It's not an advanced program anymore, so this is what your sort of the intern year is at the very top of the screen, going down to your 4th year at the bottom of the screen. You'll notice that we make sure that you guys get plenty of experience in a lot of the core rotations as an intern that should prepare you well for future years. Most of our residents really love our neurology exposure and are usually asking to have another rotation. So I think that's a very nice thing that they've built into the intern year. And then you'll notice that 2nd year is heavily inpatient. So it's 11 months of inpatient at this point, and the schedule does reflect how kind of how the different rotations are blocked. So you'll sort of be in a spinal cord injury block for 3 months, so you really know the patients. You don't have to kind of pick up for 1 month and then move to a different rotation and then come back to spinal cord injury and relearn all the patients because they've all changed. You're really with them for 3 months, and it's designed to help make your information gathering and kind of decrease your cognitive load by knowing all the patients kind of on in a continuity type of fashion. So, and then going on into 3rd and 4th year, that's where we really start to get some of our more outpatient specialty expertise. There's pain rotations. There's 4 months of EMG electrodiagnostics training. Lots of different opportunities for MSK learning and sports learning. So you guys can kind of see all those there. And then we have a couple of newer rotations, new actually this year, the senior inpatient rotation designed to help senior residents kind of get reacclimated to inpatient life. We're really there as a support and teaching tool for the PGY2 residents, and we're back on the inpatient side of things. So this helps prepare those of us who are going into the inpatient side when they graduate. Lots of different clinics. We can go back to this slide if anyone's got questions. And then we have a didactics schedule that's pretty set each year. We do our didactics each day at noon, from noon to 1. So we don't have a 4-hour block or 3-hour block like some programs do 1 day a week. We actually do them throughout the week here, primarily on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with some different learning outside of didactics in the form of journal club on Mondays and grand rounds on Fridays. In addition to those didactics, we do administer the self-assessment exam each year for both the PM&R boards and electrodiagnostics boards. So we get that experience. We also have a pretty robust ultrasound, MSK ultrasound curriculum. And then we also take some time to prepare for mock oral boards where all of our faculty participate. And the nice thing is that a lot of our faculty help administer and write the boards. So we get some really valuable insight from them during these. Over the years, basically, residents have gone all kinds of different ways. Really, our opportunities are pretty unlimited. If you decide that there's a route that you want to go, there's resources to support you on that path. In terms of immediate fellowships that you'll actually probably get some exposure to during your residency training, we have a anesthesia pain program at UAB, which routinely takes our residents, and then we also have a new, this year being the first year, interventional spine and musculoskeletal medicine NAS accredited fellowship that is under our department instead of anesthesias. That took its first fellow this past year, so they're currently working with their first fellow. So those are really good, just in-house opportunities to get exposure there. And if you decide you want to go that pathway, there's an easy route for you to get there because you kind of already had FaceTime with all these faculty members. There's also a sports medicine program within UAB. You get a lot of FaceTime with those faculty, and then we spend time at Andrews Sports Medicine as well, which is just a really well-known orthopedic group in the Southeast, but really throughout the country. We do a good bit of work, or we have a lot of opportunities basically to do volunteer and extracurricular things. We hosted the World Games 2 years ago. We hosted the World Police and Fire Games. This past year, we helped cover USFL. We actually spent a good bit of time at Lakeshore with the Paralympic rugby team there. And so there's just a lot of opportunities for you to kind of see different sides of PM&R and get the experience and exposure you kind of are hoping to, especially if you're interested in MSK side of things. You can kind of see most of these things are pretty MSK focused. So we do have a wellness committee. We have 2 retreats in an academic year, one in the fall, one in the spring. Our wellness committee gets us gifts and cakes and snacks and all that stuff. So we do feel pretty well supported from the department as a whole. Just a couple of pictures from years past of different things. Actually, a lot of these are from different retreats that we've had, and some of the other extracurricular things. Some of our attendings are in some of these pictures. We usually have a volleyball team each year that a couple of our attendings are on. That's kind of what you see in the center there. We play pickleball just about every weekend. There's a group of us going out to play pickleball. Just so happens a lot of our attendings are into pickleball too, so it ends up being a really fun kind of atmosphere. And these are just a few slides on Birmingham as a whole, not really about the program specifically, but just a little bit of statistics about our city. We do have good food. We can get into that more if we're in a session with a little bit more time. This is a picture of Railroad Park in the center of our city. There's a few music venues. This new Coca-Cola amphitheater just opened last year. My wife went there recently for a concert. She said it was great. We've got a few different pro, semi-pro teams in our area as well that we cover. And this is us. This is our contact information. If you want to get in further touch with us after this presentation, take a screenshot of this and shoot us an email. So I want to open it up to any questions that David and I can help you guys with.
And as a reminder, there's about 5 minutes left.
Looks like there's a few questions in the chat there, Ian.
Okay, let me see if I can get to that. There we go. What is my favorite part of the program at UAB? David, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I like the camaraderie between everybody, so we really have an open door policy with all of our attendings, and our program's always finding ways to mix people across training years. So we've actually had a lot of PGY1s start attending lecture with us, and that's been great now that they're in the hospital with us. And we get a lot of broad exposure, and so to see all the attendings kind of mix on their ideas, and then also all the residents come together can be um, really good community to learn and train in.
Yeah, I agree with that point. We did have a good group and develop a lot of good friendships here. Second question. I hope I'm saying your name right. Um, this question, I don't have an answer for you off the top of my head, just because this will be the first year that David and I are directly involved in the interview process. But I'd like you to shoot me an email after this meeting, and I can try and get you an answer on that because that's a good question. On the question about reapplicants, to my knowledge, we certainly take another look at reapplicants if it's your second time um, uh, trying to interview with us. And, in my personal view, it sort of just shows commitment. And so if we kind of see that you're applying again, that does mean something to us. Set up for the didactic sessions. So, like I mentioned, we have didactics each day from 12 to 1. Since I mentioned we're at a variety of sites, there's usually a cohort of around 8 residents who are on site where the lecture is taking place. The rest will tune in by Zoom. We recruit a lot of faculty. Like I mentioned, we're a really big hospital system, and so the benefit of that is that we're able to call on a lot of different experts in their fields to come talk to us about whatever the subject material is. We have lots of neurology, neurosurgery, pediatric rehabilitation, rheumatology, lots of different specialists who will come lecture to us in person. Usually try to incorporate board review questions into each lecture just to help test our knowledge during these things. What qualities do you think have helped you and your co-residents succeed? I think that having a team mentality is pretty big in this field. We're working with teams constantly. If you know anything about PM&R, it's a very team-based specialty. And in my personal experience, people who are willing to go the extra mile to help your co-resident, help your attending, help whatever team you're on in the inpatient services makes everyone more successful. And so I would say we really value that hard workers and people who are willing to kind of contribute as a team.
And residency is also that first time where you want the other person to succeed. You're not competing for spots usually, unless competing for fellowships, but it's really a big shift into teamwork versus who's going to get into this program. So, as Ian's said and alluded to, you kind of all lean on each other, and when you have each other to lean on, it makes the training a little bit better.
2-minute warning.
Got a couple more questions here I want to get through. Do we do sideline coverage for athletics? I'm seeing here. I hope I didn't skip any. Yes, we do. Our residency program actually, like the PM&R department, actually covers one high school on our own. And so through that, we have lots of opportunities in the fall to cover high school football. We're really closely linked with the sports and exercise medicine department. So I personally have covered Division I softball, Division I volleyball, Division I baseball with our sports medicine attending, sometimes actually independently. When they feel that you're comfortable, they let you do that. So, and then as I mentioned, there's a lot of different events that are coming to Birmingham, which provide more opportunities for you to do coverage in athletics. Does your program have a minimum step 2 score? To my knowledge, there's not a cutoff, a hard and fast cutoff score. But again, I hesitate to answer that question with too much certainty. Like I mentioned, David and I's first year being directly involved in the interview process. So if you want to send me an email, that'll remind me to try and get you a little bit more granular information if I'm able to.
And Michael, our call schedule gets progressively better each year. I know we're running out of time here, so you take the most call your second year, third year gets to be once a week, and then fourth year is about 1 to 2 times a month.
Well, thank you so much for that lovely presentation, and going through all those questions. Great questions, everybody.